right, so in this section, we are going to do intervals on which a function is increasing or decreasing of quadratic functions and end behavior of quadratic functions. All right, so let's do some of this. When you are doing intervals and you use parentheses, that's when it's an unknown value. For instance, an infinity, okay, or an open circle. You're going to use brackets when it's a known value, a closed circle, or something, or an ordered pair on the line. All right. When determining the intervals of increasing and decreasing, read the graph from left to right. Are your y values increasing or decreasing? What are your i's doing? Are they going up or are they coming down? Because that's what you need to ask yourself. So let's do this. Given the graph, complete the information to the right. Okay. The domain. The domain is your x values. So right here, let's look at our domain. Okay, these arrows tells us it keeps going. So your domain is going to be negative infinity to infinity. All right. Your range, look at your highest point or your lowest point. Which one do you have? Do you have the maximum or do you have a minimum? You have a maximum. So what we're going to do is we're going to read the graph from bottom to top. And the bottom is print the arrows, okay? And it tells us it keeps going. So negative infinity, comma, and it stops up here at, remember, range is your y values, 2, and turns and comes back down. So then you need to ask yourself, is 2 included? Are we going through 2 and using that number? Yes, we are. So it's a bracket. Okay? So now we're going to write our intervals where we increase. And we are increasing, and when you're doing increasing and decreasing, look at your x values. For both of these. Okay, your x values. All right. So we're increasing. Look at the graph from left to right. So we're starting with negative infinity. And this is infinity. And we come up here to 2, to 1. That's 1. Okay. All right. 1, 2. All right. So we are increasing. Remember, increasing and decreasing, you're just talking about your x values. We're increasing from negative infinity, that's going to be parentheses, to 1. And we're using 1, so it's a closed bracket. We're decreasing from 1, so it's a bracket, to infinity, because we don't know where we stop. We keep on going. All right? Your axis of symmetry. Your axis of symmetry is x equals 1. Okay? X equals 1. Your vertex is your point where it turns is 1, 2. Is it a maximum point or a minimum point? It's a maximum point at the vertex, which is 1, 2. Okay? So now your end behavior. As x approaches negative infinity, okay? As x approaches negative infinity, and that's right here. As x is going right here, what's going with y? What is y doing? What's y approaching? Y is approaching negative infinity as well. As x approaches infinity, what's our y's doing? Well, it keeps getting smaller, so it approaches negative infinity as well. Okay? So let's do b now. Okay? Your domain is your x values. So x values in a quadratic is always going to be all real numbers, or negative infinity to infinity. Okay? To find your range, that's your y's. Look at your lowest value. What is our lowest y value? Our lowest y value is 1. And it keeps on going. Okay, so our range is going to be bracket because we're using that 1 to infinity. All right. At what point are we increasing? Okay, remember this ordered pair is 4 and 1. So we're increasing. Look at your graph, read it from left to right. This is going to be infinity, negative infinity, and this is infinity. Increasing and decreasing, remember we're just talking about our x's. All right, so we're increasing from 4 to infinity. So it's going to be bracket 4, comma, infinity. We're decreasing from negative infinity down to 4. Negative infinity down to 4. Okay, your axis of symmetry. What is x equal to? Remember, your axis of symmetry is an equation. In this case, it's x equals 4. Your vertex is your xy from the axis of symmetry, so it's 4, 1. Is that a maximum or a minimum? It's a minimum at 4, 1. Okay, now let's find our end behavior. Our end behavior as x approaches negative infinity. As x goes this way, what's happening to our y? It goes to infinity, it gets larger. As x approaches infinity, our y's are still getting larger. Okay, since we're doing quadratics, these two are going to be the same. Your end behavior only on quadratics. Okay, now pause it and try the last one on your own and we'll do it together. Okay, thank you for trying that. Now let's complete it. All right, so our domain, that's our x values, all real numbers or negative infinity to infinity. Our range, look at your lowest point. Our lowest point's at negative 3 to infinity. So bracket negative 3 to infinity. Ooh, that's a horrible looking infinity. Okay, that is your lowest point. For your range, always do your lowest value. Okay, increasing. Where's it increasing? Look at your graph from left to right. Where do your eyes go up? Okay, so remember, here's negative infinity, here's infinity, and our eyes start to go up at 4, negative 3. Okay, so at 4, negative 3, that's where we start to increase. So we're increasing at 4, comma, infinity. We're decreasing at negative infinity, comma, 4. And those are brackets because we use them. Your axis of symmetry is x equals 4. All right. Your vertex is, when you plug that axis of symmetry in, your vertex is 4, negative 3. Okay. Now looking at that graph, have we created a maximum or a minimum? It's minimum. It's your lowest value. And that lowest value is minimum at 4, negative 3. Okay. Your maximum and your minimum will always be at your vertex. Now for your end behavior. As x approaches negative infinity, what's going on with your y's? Yeah, they're approaching infinity. As x approaches infinity, what's going on with your y's? They're approaching infinity as well. All right, now remember, if you have any questions, be sure to write them down as you're taking notes. Thank you.